Hi guys, Spencer Schumacher, Spencer Real Estate Group. Hey, we are zooming in, getting to know people you should know around town. We are talking to Jared Wiese today. Jared Wiese is with Profiles that Pop. Jared, thanks for coming in here today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Spencer. Glad to be here.
Hey, tell me a little bit about your business.
Yeah. Well, the quick backstory is, and boy, it's getting to be, I think, about 7 years now. I had been with my day job, I had been on LinkedIn getting into groups and had been posting, writing articles, and was really enjoying just, you're talking with other professionals and people are chiming in, you learn something, you share something. Groups were great back then. This is like in 2016, 2015, 2016. And so I was getting into LinkedIn more that way, to begin with. But then, about whatever it was, 5, 6 years ago, I made a one-word change. I was consulting at a client and was about to go on the bench and be without a job. And I made a one-word change in my profile, and a recruiter called me the next day, and basically I got the job. So I thought, interesting. So that's kind of when, that's the shortest way to explain the whole story. That's when this whole thing kind of took off, and I realized, wow, there's power here on LinkedIn. But as an interesting segue, you go back about 15, 16 years ago, I did something similar. I had a resume, I put it on a job board. The very next day, I got a call and ended up getting the job with relocation from posting my resume on a job board. So, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, I already understood resumes well enough. And by the way, the interesting tie in there is that a resume alone nowadays doesn't even work. I mean, you hear crickets now. You get ghosted from a recruiter. They say you're great, you're perfect, and you send them a resume, and then you hear nothing. It's like, what happened? Did the resume just rule me out? What's going on here? Or you spray and pray is the thing I like to call it, right? People send off resumes everywhere, and they hear nothing. So the game has changed, and it's unfortunately it's even worse right now with COVID. Um, it's just, and it's funny, there's an interesting story, a backstory to this. In 2012, Ladders did a study of recruiters' eye scans, and they said, what are they looking for and how fast? They are looking for six things back then in 6 seconds. Then in 2018, they reconfirmed the study and they found that it was 7 seconds. Like, yay, you get an extra second. Someone's going to scan that resume in 7 seconds. And they looked at it and they found out, well, what's the deal here? 2012 to 2018. In 2012, 6 seconds, right? It was because we were in a recession. And they concluded that recruiters had even less time than they did in 2018, the magical 7 seconds, lucky 7 seconds, to look at your resume. I ask you now, today with COVID, I'd estimate you have about 5 seconds because they're going to be, what's going on? I need someone who quick match. I've got a quota to hit. I'm not seeing the perfect guy. Let's move on. Boom. It's, cool. Yeah. So it's weird. We went from 6 seconds, 7 down to 5 is really what I estimate now.
And so when you are looking, so you help people with their resume and also their online profile, right?
I do, and not just job seekers, but also businesses. I had a recent client that within a couple days, he went from getting about 3 people looking at his profile, so hence on LinkedIn, hence about 3 leads, right? Someone that he could see they came, he could look out if they weren't a connection, he could reach out to them and say, hey, I see you came to my profile. Is there something I can help you with? Yeah. And that ended up going to, I forget the exact number, but the stats were over 13,000% increase. He had something like 150 per week were looking at his profile. So he went from 3 people, we redid his profile, I helped him with engagement. There's bunch of nuances here, but essentially with LinkedIn, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here, Spencer, but with LinkedIn, that comes down to 3 things that I help people with. I get them seen, searched, and selected. Seen, this guy, he was invisible. Excuse me. His settings were completely corrupt. He wasn't even being seen. So once we got that taken care of, okay, now he's in a pool of almost 700 million people. Yay, great, you're in the pool. Then I got him searched. You come up in a search and we proved, yep, it was a hard time to do, and it took a while actually for those settings to fix. But once that all came in, then we were showing that he was getting found in searches. So now he's showing up on people's radar. But, and this is where the name of my company comes in, Profiles That Pop. Do you pop, even if you're found in that search, do you pop enough to have someone pull you in and want to look at your profile? So then I proved he was actually getting more profile views, and that's that end number you saw. He went from 3 to about 150 or even more. So it was like a 12,000% increase. So it just shows. I mean, the power and the beauty of LinkedIn is it's not just job seekers looking for jobs and recruiters. It used to be that, right? Everybody
Yep.
thinks that's all it is.
Yep.
You can do so much more. It really is a field of dreams. You know, it is what you make it.
You know, it's interesting with LinkedIn and my business, and you know, we've experimented a little bit in there, but it's amazing. I find when I'm comparing social media platforms across the board, LinkedIn seems to be a lot more people who are on LinkedIn. It's probably a smaller population of people, but they're a lot more engaged. Is that a true statement, or is that just my analysis?
I still would have to agree. I mean, it's been a little while, but back in the day, I want to say a year ago, up to about a year ago, I was trying a whole bunch of different platforms. I
Yeah.
was trying multiple Twitter accounts, you know, because I had different avenues, and back then you could do that. You know, I had my day job, I had a Twitter account, and my side job, I had a Twitter account, for example. So I was trying it different ways, and I would try to cross like and say, okay, my one likes the other. You know, you do different things, but I've tried Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Um, those are the big ones that come to mind, right? That would be somewhat professional, but it's kind of like what we already believe. You know, on Facebook, people are connecting to friends and family. They want to look at, you know, I'm on this vacation spot. Look at me. You know, this has been great. Hey, anybody got one of these? I'm looking to sell. I'm looking to buy. You know,
Yeah.
it's not business. It's more
Right.
personal. There's you're there to relax. But yet the weird part is it's the gorilla or the elephant in the room, right? It's huge.
Huge.
And they've tried. They even have like business pages. You know, they've been trying to put jobs out there, that kind of stuff. But I don't think that it's really taken off. That said, though, they've got, ads are probably better. They're right up there as good or better than Google ads.
Sure.
So they've got all these mechanisms in place. And I personally haven't had the time or the expertise to really get into it.
Sure.
My background was all about LinkedIn. I already understood it. I have a technical background. It just really matched well with what I saw. And yes, back to your original question, it just right off the bat, you're dealing with people that are professional in
Yeah.
most cases. You're going to get spam. You're going to get other people that are doing whatever things they're trying to do. They're just checking out LinkedIn. They're not serious. But
Right.
the people that are, that's where they're going to be. I would agree.
Cool. So then when so a business owner or someone looking for a job, like, to me, it makes sense. If somebody's looking for a job, to call you, get a resume, get the LinkedIn. As a business owner, as a person on LinkedIn, when is that time, when the right time for the person to contact you to say, I need help? How do you know you need help?
Yeah, there are things that I can do when I can get access and see your profile. I can see a lot more. But when things are so bad that you really do need the help, it's one of actually the things that I do with a prospect is I say, I already see at least three things wrong with your
Right.
profile. And I can just see it looking at it from a standpoint of content. I can
Yeah.
tell that's not going to help you. Or I can even do different ways of searching for them and to see if they even show up. So I can do that when I talked about that first step. Are you getting seen? I can
Okay.
prove that out to them even before we begin doing any work. So I like to do that. But one of the cornerstone of what I like to do with LinkedIn is when I talked about that second and third step. Are you getting searched and are you
Yeah.
getting selected?
Right.
That's the cornerstone. I start off and I say, here you go. Here's two links. Tell me what you're getting in both of those links. So I let LinkedIn do the work for me. And it
Yeah.
tells them how many views are they getting, how many searches, what type of people are searching them, what are the words that people are searching and finding them for. So that's basically the information that's coming back. And I get people that are in the single digits, maybe the double digits.
Yeah.
But like I said, this guy I took him to triple digits. I took him from single to triple digits in views. Now, views means that's beyond the searches. That was that
Right.
final step. He had people literally coming to his profile. We had to upgrade him from the free account to a premium account where he could see all those people. And hey,
Perfect.
that's the position you want to be in, right? You don't want to just be
Right.
handing out business cards, in the olden days and have
Right.
no idea who it is. And great, these people are calling you up or they saw your card, they're interested, but you have no
Yeah.
idea who they were, right? This is like, they got your card and they called in with a special number on the card and wow, that came right from this business card. I have proof like that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So when you're working with somebody, how is it a one time? Is it a series? Is it like what's your business model? How does it work?
Yeah. Great question. Thank you. I figured you'd ask that.
Good.
In short, I go through 26 proprietary steps with
Okay.
LinkedIn.